do it all over again. That's sticking to something. That's consistency. Repetition. Off the rip though. Niggas have a money fight. Alright, let's do it. Only that Bentley, I'm getting off the blood, niggas. I'm the blood, niggas. 654. This on the flow. Gallon of water. Ready. Eggs. Ready. So Rico, he made these. So, what am I doing? I'm tweaking, boy. Phone on gray. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So this is how we're gonna get the first 34 grams of protein for the day. Followed with some eggs, BCAAs, with our vitamins. Vitamins? Swish. Okay. Just like that. What we won't forget today, though, honestly, sriracha. Because what I learned is you can quickly go from having a really good day to a not so fun day by not having sriracha. Because, you know, I love my sriracha. We're going to try and do this while driving, so I might have to, you know. Can y'all see me? God damn. Today was one of those days, man. I'm not sure if it's because I slept a little later, just falling asleep. Just falling asleep at 11 because my vlog went up a little late just from getting off so late. In fact, I'm just getting off again, but you know, getting off at a later time kind of pushes back everything else I got to do for the day, which is not a problem. Just, you know, you just got to adapt. Now, I will say there's this saying, right? A young man, early to bed, early to rise, keeps a man young and wise. And it's very, very true. But I also heard this saying from Robert Greene today in a podcast that he was featured in, and it was something along the lines of like, you know, you really don't ever know life. Like, get that out of your head, despite how much you've been through, what you've gone through, so on and so forth. Like, you never will completely, entirely know life, and it's very true. Like, I was thinking, like, wow, it's kind of crazy, like how much intensity, like how intense, how focused, how disciplined one can become. And it's not everybody, but like someone who really wants it, someone who's seen the worst of the worst, been through the worst, man. You've been shot at, you've been broke, you've been homeless, you ain't had no food in your stomach, you've been alone, you've had hundreds of thousands. You've had all the friends, and then when you had nothing, when you're a quote unquote of not of value to the people or to your quote unquote friend, you know, you start losing everybody starts removing themselves from you, so far and so forth. This is prior to a drug addiction. You kind of like, you really like, things like that really do build you in life. And the beauty of it is, like, I also heard of this thing, and it's like, okay, from what's his name, man? I can't remember off the top of my head. Alex Hormozzi. He mentions how if you want to build a warrior, right? You're not gonna sit there and you're not gonna explain to him how to build a warrior. Regarding, let's say you're trying to build yourself to be a warrior, you can't just read on it and never experience or go through any lessons in life, hardships, etc. Like, that's where a man is made. And he says, like, you know, you can read about it all you want, but you'll never be able to walk the talk like somebody who will be able to sniff you out like a dog when you're cosplaying, when you're just going based off what you read and what you think you know versus somebody who's lived it. And this isn't to downplay anybody, you know, and because let's say you're a man and you haven't gone through those type of things, because not everybody needs to go through those type of things, but I will say men who have gone through those type of things do have a lot more wisdom, do have a lot more character, do have a lot more, you know, personality, because you know what it's like to be alone, you know what it's like to be broke, you know what it's like to have no food, you know what it's like to have, you know, no shelter over your head. Like, and those are some of the most valuable and important lessons of a young man growing up. But to get at what I'm saying, you know, everything will pass, good or bad. Nothing lasts forever. And I've had the highest highs, the lowest lows. But like, back to what I was saying regarding you never really know life. And, you know, you're always going to be a student of the game, a student of life, if you allow yourself to be and not become hard-headed, egotistic, and stuck in one way. Like, granted, I never really had people that I I had more people in my life that showed me what I didn't want to be like based off who they were, based off character, their actions, and their routines, versus having more people in my life that I did want to be like, you know, who inspired me, who, you get what I'm saying? And I still, and you could, you know, they say a wise man learns from other people's mistakes, and I still fell in that hole, in that trap of becoming somebody who was so involved and so down in that addiction. But, you know, like I say, as long as you never give up, bro, like, everything will come together, but everything will pass, good or bad. It's just, you can't give up, and you really, like, really, just, it's all perspective. Like, genuinely, everything in life is perspective. Every single fucking thing is perspective. Because you could be having a bad day, but it could be 10 times worse just because of how you're perceiving it and how you allow it to affect you, both mentally, physically. Because you can always top it off with your mentality, make it so much worse than it really needs to be, or is. And I learned that early on when I was young, and when I had some of my highest highs. And I was never mad, I was never jealous, I was never envious. Like, since I was a young kid, I was always looking up to people, you know, who had it. I got myself involved with people who had it, who had something going on, who built from scratch, and I was inspired. I was like, damn, if they could do it, I could do it. And it's just all perspective. But we're heading home. It was a long day, it was a good day. I'm just kind of beat, I'll be honest. I haven't had my second meal, so that's maybe another reason why I don't have the energy, because I haven't had my carbs. I haven't had my extra carbs, so like, I ain't gonna lie, my stomach hungry. This bag is big, boy. This bag is big, boy. And no cap, I can feel my body just like, ooh, woozy. Like, I'm just, damn. But we gonna get home, have some pre-workout, have some creatine, have our meal. Bro, no cap, look at this video I just edited. I didn't even feel this. I did not feel that fucking, man, cannot remake himself without stuff. That shit. Gas. Alright. We made it home. Showered up. Uploaded a reel. Uploaded a reel that I made yesterday. I'm gonna go make some more reels today. I'm trying, like, just expanding my mind. Allowing, you know, God and the universe to put ideas into my head. And get back into my creative mode when it comes to videos. Because I am trying to start creating. I am documenting for YouTube, but I'm going to start creating for Instagram, shooting an S-Log, you know, throwing on LUTs, doing actual edits. But right now I'm just starting, getting back into it, learning my edits, and then learning new edits again. But right now, the most important part, like I've been preaching, is one foot in front of the other one. That's the biggest thing. So go check out the Instagram if you haven't. MITCHF8. TEE. But bro be in there grinding with grit, you know what I'm saying? Like, in there like swimmer. On a scale 1 to 10, how much brother? Ooh. What? On a scale 1 to 10, how bad do you want? I don't see you sweating enough. I need to see you going hard in my belly.
Alright, bet, let's go 20 both of us.
Huh?
Let's go 120 both of us.
What do you mean? Break it down.
So look, we're gonna do 100 pounds. We gotta rip 20 out. Whoever loses. has to pay for food.
Okay, come on, brother. All right, you want me to go first? You want me to go first? Yeah, I go first. This is me being curious. I had a dub for the nigga. I don't know you gonna hit the dub, see. Come on.
I was 15, nigga.
You gonna pay for my dinner?
So what?
I ain't gonna make you pay for my dinner. I just wanna see you sweat, nigga. That's it. We ain't here to eat, baby. That's all. Keep it simple. That, my friends, is what I call a good, solid workout. My shirt got all droopy. I was like this in the gym because my shit was all wet. All right, let's fix this. We gotta have a conversation. So I'm not so like, I take it back. So I will be putting a lot more effort into my Instagram prior to versus my YouTube. My YouTube is gonna be more documentation, not a lot going on. Just simply maybe a lot more words of wisdom and day-to-day process for sure. We're gonna continue the documentation, but I wanna step into my creative side with editing, with my camera skills. You know, learning how to really play with the colors, play with LUTs, play with S-Log. But to speak about what I really wanted to speak about, when you get into this season of life, you start removing things slowly. Even when I first got off, you know, the drugs, first week, first 4 or 5 days, which has only been a week, literally. The first 3-4 days of that, bro, I'm talking like spiritual warfare. Like, I never experienced something like that in my life. And then we're gonna speak prior to all of that, prior to being in the chapter of addiction. But bro, I've never ever felt a real spiritual warfare where like you just feel like you're getting pulled down, like you just, like, the evil is just realizing that you're really giving it up, that you're really giving it up to God, that you're no longer consciously, subconsciously gonna allow yourself to step down and do those things that degrade you, that more or less are from the devil. And I don't even like saying that word anymore, but it was scary, I'll be honest. I never experienced something like that, and quite frankly, nothing scares me but God. And in that time, and I'll tell you, as a man, I would wake up with fear, bro. Fear. Like the devil didn't want to let me go. And like he was just instilling fear in me to like more or less come. I don't know. It was like, I couldn't even explain it. But it was a feeling. It was vivid. As a grown man, it had me falling asleep on FaceTime, thinking about going to lay in my brother's room. And those was just thoughts, but like, bro, you like, in my head, I'm like, I put myself in this shit. I gotta get myself out this shit with God by my side. But I'm gonna tell you guys something. A strong body creates a stronger mind. Before this, I had gone so long getting to a point where I had lost myself entirely, completely. I didn't even recognize myself no more. I was getting told, oh my God, you used to this, the way you used to speak, articulate, and the messages you used to put out, this and that, yada, yada, yada. And in my head, in the back of my head, I'm like, I always be like, damn, when am I going to get back to that? I know that kid. I know that wisdom. I know that game. I know that psychological literacy, etc. is still there. I never lost hope. I was just fighting something so deep. And now that I'm gaining my way back, it's like I'm doing all the hard shit, stuff that pains me, and going forward, like there's just no room. I wouldn't say distractions. That's a part of it. But like when you're doing this, your head needs to be fully in the game. And if there's something taking energy from you, or you feel like you could be doing something better in regards of like you're doing something half-assed, whatever, yada yada, you gotta fix it. And you gotta slowly but surely, just like you slowly start fixing your habits, your routines, you slowly gotta also start cutting shit off that isn't for you. Stuff that doesn't, like habits, all that doom scrolling shit, cut it out. You know what I'm saying? The whole fucking, you just laying there watching Netflix when you know deep down you could be doing something better, cut that shit out. You know what I'm saying? You going out hanging out with friends that aren't on the same mission with you, and you're 1 foot in what you're doing and 1 foot in with your homies, and oh, let's go do this, fuck it, so you don't complete the task, or you don't get back to doing what you know you need to do in the times that you set for yourself as part of your routine. Cut that shit out. But that goes for people, vices, things. You slowly gotta start cutting it out. And some of that shit gonna hurt, bro. Some of that shit gonna fucking hurt. But only you know why you're doing it. And if it's friends and they're real, they're gonna respect it. They're gonna let you do what you do in that season of life. If it's whatever it is, if it's meant to be, and that, your homies, your person, whatever part meant to be part of your life, it's gonna find its way back to you. You gotta remember, one of the biggest things here is gratitude, but also knowing how to be abundant. You can't, God can't give you more and put more on your plate if you're not even grateful for what you already have. And that's the truth. Bro, I was living way more comfortable than this, with way more space. Just like when I had my apartment, I had my room, I was living with my best friend, who was making dough hundreds, yada yada yada. But it got to a point where I lost my rail, I lost my track, I lost sight, and it became ego filled at one point. It was no longer, there was no gratitude there. So how can I be abundant if I'm just thinking negatively because I'm not getting what I want when I want it? That's not how God works. His plan is so much bigger, and like I said, I'm crawling right now. I ain't even took my first step. I ain't even started walking in God's plan. God's plan is huge, bro. And I believe and I trust my process so deeply. We're going into a season of hurt, of pain, doing the things we don't want to do, doing the things you gotta do. And at the end of the day, just remember, you don't owe nobody shit. And nobody owe you shit. It's cold out here, man. When you get that dog mentality back, after you've been... Man, when I was so fucked up off that stupid ass shit, I became so emotionally weak, mentally weak. I ain't recognize myself no more. Don't stop. Give it to God. But do it wholeheartedly, sincerely, genuinely. Because if you don't consciously, you gonna know what you're doing and God's gonna know what you're doing. Pray for me, I'ma pray for y'all. Don't lose hope. Stay crazy. I fuck with y'all, man.